Okay, before we get started, you of course need to hoop some stabilizer. I used tearaway stabilizer. I put it in my magnetic hoop. You can use any hoop. It just needs to be able to fit a 6 by 8 inch design. And now we're ready to go ahead and get started. I just load white thread. Use the color thread you want. You can match to your fabric if you want to. It's not really necessary because it's not going to show. So go ahead, we're going to start, and it's going to first stitch that placement line for the bag. My machine, I don't have it auto cut, so you'll have to put up with me. It's just a picky part of what I like or don't like. We're going to go ahead and show you the entire process so that you can see for yourself that it really only takes a little over 5 minutes to sew this bag. Okay, now it's stopped, and we're going to place our top fabric on there. You're going to take your top fabric face up. You're going to make sure that it covers the entire placement line well above all areas, and just use a couple of pieces of cheap tape and hold it in place. Once you have that tape down, go ahead and press start, and it's going to tack down the front piece of fabric for your bag. I'm going to point out that if you happen to sew over some of your tape, it's all right. It will pull out of the stitching just fine. It's not a problem. Okay, it's going to jump over now and want to stitch the placement line for your ribbon. It of course stops so you can change colors or do whatever you want to do. Now this placement line is about 1 inch wide. You can use any size ribbon you want, and this will tack it down. It just makes a good tack down line. I go ahead and use the thin ribbon, and what I do is I try to cut it about twice the length of the bag. I chose some thin ribbon, and I'm going to fold it in half and find the center and make a finger press so I can see where that center is. And I'm going to place it with that center line laying over the placement line. Now I'm going to take a piece of tape and hold that ribbon in place with a piece of tape on either side of it. There we go. If you've got ribbon like what I've got and there's a right side and a wrong side, make sure your right side is up. Then you can go ahead and start, and it's going to tack down that ribbon. And of course, because I'm trying to not edit this video so you can see the entire process, my machine has a problem, and I wind up sewing the placement line twice. It does a really good tack down job so that your ribbon stays nice and firm. Now you're ready to sew on your other side, your back side of your bag. Go ahead, and we're going to get these ribbons, and we're going to just pull them up here to the top because you're not going to sew across the top here. So we're just going to take that ribbon, grab it, stick it down, up out of the way. Okay, so see how I've got it stuck up out of the way? Now we're ready for the last step, which is to get your back fabric on there. You're going to place it on top of the fabric, face down, with the back side or wrong side up. Once you have your fabric in place, go ahead and push start and let it sew on or tack down your back side. I forgot to tape down my fabric. I don't recommend it.
But if you do that, be like me, keep your fingers out of the way as much as possible. The design is set so it will make a second pass around the fabric. It's a little bit in from the previous stitchings, so that you've got a good hold on that fabric and it won't ravel. While this is stitching out, I do want to tell you, I made this design so that you can use any width of ribbon that you want, up to 1 inch wide, and it will tack it down. You can sew it with no thread changes. One thread for the entire design. You could stick some personalization on here, put the person's name, say Merry Christmas, something like that. Or you can even embroider a Christmas design in the middle, or whatever design you want. Or if you're really in a hurry, just leave it with some cute fabric and a cute ribbon, and it's a darling gift bag. I'm going to make a video that shows you some of the variations you can do with this bag, just to give you some ideas on how creative you can be with this design. Now your design is finished, and you can take it off your machine, and it was literally done in a little bit over 5 minutes.
Okay, go ahead. We're going to get that hoop off your machine, and then we're going to go clean it up and stuff it and get it ready to give away. All right, here's the other beauty of the magnetic hoop. Just remove the magnets. They're pretty tight. And it's out of the hoop.
Next, of course, you're going to tear all the stabilizer off and clean it up so you're ready to trim.
Okay, I like to take and use my serrated edge on my rotor cutter. So just going to trim that to 1/4 inch in. Don't want to trim it too close. Now you want to do the same thing along the top, but I wait until I get it turned inside out. So we're going to press those corners with your finger in. I'm going to push out, and then flip your bag inside out. And that's what you've got. I'm going to go and press this off screen, and then I will come back and we can pretty up the top. Okay, I've ironed it. There it is. It makes it so much easier to cut when it's got a nice clean edge, but we do want to cut it. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut right there. We just want to find that spot. So I just kind of fold it down and finger press it so I can see my line. And then I'm going to take my ruler and line it up along that line. See how you can kind of see that line? Let me move this up a little for you. Just going to take my ruler and then take your rotor cutter and there you go. Now you got your bag. You can fold it and tie it, and you have a cute Christmas bag.
So in 5 to 7 minutes, you have a darling bag that you can fill up and give to your friends and show them how creative you are. In my next video, I show you how, with some simple changes, you can make these bags even cuter. Come check it out.